Oh yes, there it is. Good morning and welcome one and all to Wake and Base. I hope y'all are doing well today. I know I'm doing pretty well. It's a little bit gloomy and rainy outside. Hope it's a little bit nicer wherever you are, but that's not going to stop us here. It never does. Because today what we're doing is a continuation of what we were doing last week. My insane idea to just go full theory nerd on everybody and go through and try to figure out what is the most common key signature used in CITYPOP. Now, to those of you who have no idea about music theory, you might be thinking, why on earth does that matter at all? And some of you who do know music theory might be going, this is dumb. There's going to be an equal distribution pretty much of everything except for C major, because that's usually the game, is that C major, G major, those are usually the favorite keys. Both of you are correct in going, what? But the reason I'm doing this, I'm going to explain a little bit more here at the beginning of the stream and talk about why key signatures matter, why this information is interesting, and some of the stuff that we could possibly be able to glean at the end of all this by looking through this data and trying to figure stuff out. So, in that vein, what I'm going to do is jump in by trying to give a little bit of a better, quick 5-minute, hopefully, explanation of what I'm going for here with this discussion of key signatures and why it matters. And then looking at some more information that I collected this week and just going through and adding some more information here today. So anything and everything goes. If there's a song you're interested in, individual song, throw it at me. We're going to figure out the key. If you have an album, throw it at me. We'll figure out all the songs, figure out the keys of the album, see if there's an interesting connection or correlation within that album. I did a couple Cassiopeia albums yesterday, so we can look at those specifically and start to see some of the distribution of those. Why is Cassiopeia interesting? They don't have a vocalist, so that will play into things quite heavily here. But as we're jumping in, I'll be trying to keep an eyeball on the live chat here. Let's go ahead and just jump on over. Here we go. So, talking about why does any of this matter? This, what I'm about to show you, doesn't have to do with key signatures, but has to do with complexity of the chords used within a progression. So what's the difference? If I use the first chord, the dominant, I go 1, then I go to the 4th chord of my key, 4, 5, back to 1, 1, 4, 5, 1. Very common progression. Sounds. Let's see. So if I've got 1, and I've got 4, 5, and 1. So just those 3 chords. I'm in E. E major. I can also go to F major. I'm out of tune. All that to say, even if I'm in F sharp, 1, 4, 5, 1. So that's what we're going to be looking at right here, is what were the most common chord progressions in the 1960s. Well, let's see what Chubby Checker was doing. We'll look at Chubby. 1, 4, 1, 5, 4, 1. So what is that? That's I'm gonna checker. I'm gonna checker. I'm gonna checker, baby. Don't you know my name is Chubby Checker? There you go. Now let's see what from a summer place we'd have 1, minor 2, 1, minor 2, 5, 7, 1. So that's what's going on here, is when we're looking at these numbers, what we call Roman numerals in music theory, or just in life, because that's what they are, is Roman numerals. If it's a uppercase, large Roman numeral, such as everything in this top row here, it's a major chord. If we look and we see lowercase, like we do here in number 2, where we see that lower double I, that means minor. So that's a minor 2 chord. So that means whatever key we're in, let's say we're in C, so C is our 1. C major, there you go. So what's 2? After C comes D, so D. D minor chord. So that's how these are working. And what we're seeing here, we see a little added 7th, so it adds a little extra spice in there. You can see, okay, we got a flat 7. Oh, okay, it makes it major. A little bit of spice going on here, but what are we mostly noticing? Okay, we got a 1, 4, 1, 5, 1. Lots of 1, 4, 1, 5, 1. All of that. Even with something down here, which is a little, my big old fat head's in the way. But if you see this Ray Charles down here at the bottom, we got a 5, 7, 4 going to 4 to 1 to minor 3, 5, 7, 1. That's a little more complicated. That's a little more spicy. But you're getting the idea. That's the 1960s here. Let's see what happens when we go into the 70s. Okay. Almost immediately, we start getting way more complex, and we start seeing a lot more minor chords. So we look here, something like, let's see, what's one I know real well? Le Freak, so chic. Le Freak, says, aw, freak out. Minor 1, 4, major 3, minor 1. So it's still kind of this 1, 4, 5, 1 idea, but it's turning it on its head a little bit. It's in a minor mode. It's slightly different. And as we start sifting through here, we see even more strange keys or strange chord progressions occurring. My personal favorite, though, is down here, Shadow Dancing. Just a minor 1, baby. That's funk right there. You just chill on 1 chord, minor chord, that's it. Hey, what's up at Game Legend? Good to see you, homie. All right, so keeping my promise and going through faster here, let's look at the 1980s. This is the thing that we're really interested in. All right, all these songs now are getting minor. Very, very minor. Everything is floating around. Nothing really starts on a major 1 anymore. We see, here we go, Every Breath You Take. So the Police song, that one starts on a major 1, but the rest of these are all starting on weird chords. Are like Eye of the Tiger by Survivor starts on a minor 2 and then goes to a 1. So we're starting to get some very interesting chord progressions here, starting to get more complex, but very minor oriented. Okay, now we get to the 90s. What happens in the 90s? Okay, we're starting to go, we still have a lot of, different chords here. It looks like a lot is going on, but if you start looking at what's in there, what are we noticing now? Okay, we're going back to 1, 4, 5, 1 or 5, 1. I mean, this is Leanne Rimes. Let's see here. Macarena, Unbreak My Heart. Here we go. Tony Braxton, minor 1, minor 4, major 6, major 5. Okay, it's kind of an interesting chord progression there, but again, 1, 4, 5, 1. Now, look what happens when we go from 1990s to the 2000s. 3, 4 chords maximum. And look at what we have here on the hits. We've got Usher, Flo Rida, Black Eyed Peas, Nickelback, Alicia Keys. All these songs. So what happened? Loops, beats, the advent of hip hop, that looped production style, when you loop something, there's not a lot of room for massive progressions. So all of a sudden, all of our chord progressions get way smaller, way simpler. Does this trend continue? You tell me. It absolutely continues, almost to a point where now, since they were kind enough to color code this for us, you can see the repetition that's going on here. For something like Uptown Funk, a song I absolutely love, it's just minor 1, major 4, minor 1. That's it. Well, what about We Found Love? We found love in a hopeless place. Well, that's minor 1, major 3, minor 1. Almost the same form, except instead of going to a 4, Rihanna went to a 3, and that's why she's number 6 and not number 1. But I'm teasing here. But if you look at this, look at how we changed from, let's just say, let's go back to the 80s here. In the 80s, each one of these songs, so half started, or okay, 4 started with a 1. We've got a minor 6, major 1, minor 2. We've got some variety here. We've got some variety on what the first chord is. When we go to the 90s, same thing. We see a lot of starting on the 5, and I guess a couple starting on the 1, but still some variety. Once, though, we get into the 2000s, what are we starting on always? Almost always starting on the 1. Minor 1, major 1, minor 1, minor 1, all that stuff. What happens when we get into the 2010s? I think everything starts on the 1. Closer starts on the 6. So, this is interesting because this gives us a good tactile, visual source to point at to go, that's why this sounds different. The chord progressions got simplified. They were much closer together. So even though right now what we're looking at is key signatures, this is what this eventually leads to, is finding more information like this, where if there's not a common key signature that we notice, well, maybe we'll start digging more into chord progressions and seeing, hopefully not Cassiope, because that'll be a theoretical nightmare. But if we did it, it would be amazing. So this is the chord progression idea of what's going on here. So now, why does a key signature specifically matter? And I'm getting way outside of my 5-minute realm here, but I promise this is important data. So I boiled this down again, trying in my best effort to make some actual preparation for this show so you guys get some good info that actually means something. This is how I would break down the 4 most important things when you're considering a key signature as a composer. Let's say y'all are writing your own music. When you're writing, if you're going to be writing something with vocal components, and let's just say you're writing for yourself, you want to consider the vocal range almost number 1. I would say that might, and depending, not always, but as a general rule, if there's going to be voice, that's the consideration because it's probably going to be at the forefront. Second thing you have to think about is the instrumentation. What instruments are you going to be playing on the song? Is it just going to be vocals and keyboard only? Okay, that's one set of ideas and considerations. Are you going to add strings? What kinds of strings? Are you adding violins, violas? Are you adding guitar, bass? Are you, those kinds of things. Every layer you add on, knowing just a little bit of info about how each instrument works and how they work together goes a really long way. In that same line of thinking, friendliness of the key signature to the chosen instrument might be the most important thing of that instrumentation marker, which is why I gave it its own little bullet point. And then the last consideration would be the tone or the timbre. And this is a much older idea going back to Chopin, having to do with this idea of 12-tone tempered tuning and just tuning. I've talked about it in the past. I don't want to get into it today. All that to say that you can pick a key signature depending on your instrument just for the specific quality of the sound it makes. So you can play an instrument lower than it should be played or higher than it should be played to achieve a certain feel or sound, but that's less common. So breaking these down real quick here. Vocal range. What do you want to think about? Make sure the key signature is comfortable in your vocal range. So if I was going to sing something that's way up here, that sounds good. I probably wouldn't want to cover that song in its original key. I'd want to move it down, have something I can sing lower, you know, that kind of thing. So you want to consider what's comfortable for you to sing. Can you hit every note? Other thing, what's your power note? Where's the range? What's the note that you can hit super, super well, very, very strong, and feel comfortable with a couple notes above and a big range below, that kind of thing? Work within that range. Find your key signature. For me personally, when I'm writing songs, working on stuff, I feel very comfortable in B major. I don't know why, but B major feels really, really good for me. Once you get into things like E major, whew, that's whatever it is, too high, too low for me. Doesn't work. So I try to avoid that, and then I use B. That works out great for me. Last thing with vocal range that a lot of people don't consider, this is more advanced, but still important to know. Do you have a chorus? So this is big in city pop. So if you're Tatsuro Yamashita and you're writing your songs and you can sing that right on time, all the way up here's feeling good. Well, what about your harmonies? Way up here. It's like, can you also sing way up high? If you can't, do you have a friend who can sing way up high and get those parts or way down low? So thinking about that range of your vocalists, all that kind of stuff really, really helps with, or is really important when you're picking a key signature. Okay, instrumentation. So talking about the range of an instrument. Every instrument has a different range, which is how high or low it can go. And within that range, for every instrument it's different, what key signature is more friendly than others? So the easiest way to think about friendly versus not friendly is if you're looking at a piano. You imagine a piano. If you're in C major or A minor, which is their relative related key signatures, all you play is the white keys. You don't have to worry about any black keys. If you hit a white key, you are playing a correct note in that key signature. So in many ways, that's an easier way to think about how to play the instrument because you can look at it and say, oh, it's just white keys. Now, if you talk to a pianist, they will have, depending on the pianist, many different opinions on this, but some pianists start with C major and work up from there, adding sharps or flats. But if you look at somebody like Chopin, who had a whole philosophy on how the hands should approach the instrument, I think he started in B major or B minor. He started in different keys, basing it around the idiomatic nature of his piano technique. So all that to say, those key signatures and understanding how that works matters. If you have a new student or somebody, you know, if you want to just play in C major, okay, well, that should be pretty easy to do. But if you do something like, I don't know, D flat major, you know, which has 5 flats, and they're going, well, wait, which ones are the flat? You know, that can be more difficult to play, or if you're playing fast, can be harder to move around. So where does this also show up other than the piano? For violin, viola, all the classical strings, what we like is 2 flats to 3 sharps. Why? Because if you go more than 2 flats, because what's the first flat? B flat. Second one is E flat. Well, the E flat takes away our open E string. Not our favorite, but we'll deal with it. What's the next one? A flat. You took away our open A string. So now all of our resonance is gone. Doesn't sound good. Well, what's the next one? D. All right, now you're just coming after us angrily. You took away our open D string. All we have left is G. And then the next one is a G. So now all of our open strings are gone. So that kills our resonance. It doesn't sound as good on our instrument. And it's way harder to play because we don't have open strings anymore and we have to think way harder about how we see notes and stuff like that. So that's, if you write music with 6 flats and you give it to a violinist, be prepared to get, they're going to make those sounds. Now, having said that, tell them to shut up and play because that's what they're paid for, is to do that. Because I've been in that situation too, and you can do it. It's just, you're going to hear people complain. Okay, in a different way, talking about guitar, not the same considerations because what are the open strings on a guitar? Well, you got E, A, D, G, B, E. A lot more open strings to choose from. And what's our bass open chord down here? E, major or minor. So for guitar, they don't care as much about the specific, okay, well, 2 flats or 3 sharps. What they care about is, all right, well, how are my open strings going to react to my key signature. So being an E, if I go up here and I do a 5, an A chord, I can take off my under fingers and get a nice suspended chord using my open B and E. Sounds nice. So let's say though that I'm in E flat, and then I go to that same chord, but now I'm in E flat, but now I try the same thing. Sounds really crazy and weird and bad. Now, what's an example of using this well? Weezer, Say It Ain't So. Instead of it being, it's really weird open note. So that's one of the reasons why Weezer's song Say It Ain't So is in E flat. I don't think it's in D. I think it's in E flat. It's in a weird key, but they wanted to do it for that sound, and then they detuned. Rivers Cuomo's a weird dude too. Anywho, so with guitar, that's the consideration is don't do like E flat. That's weird to have E flat major because that's a note we don't have on the instrument. Now, how can you get around that? Retune your guitar. Dropping D is very, very common. Using a capo is very, very common. Straight up retuning your instrument into open tuning or half step lower or whole step lower or whatever. Also very, very common. So for city pop instruments, which is what we're dealing with here, which are usually electric guitar, electric bass, keyboard, Rhodes, all those kinds of things, they're all modular. They can all be changed. It's not as hard and fast as classical instruments. However, knowing this, a lot of these composers were all classically trained, and they knew all this stuff going in together, and they were thinking about this, especially the top people, top arrangers, top musicians, all that kind of stuff. So, last thing, just some last comments here. So the brass instruments, they like flat keys. So if you hear a lot of brass instruments, winds, that's what they like. They prefer flat. And then finally, if you're programming all of your sounds or instruments into your program, your DAW, all this stuff, you probably don't have to consider any of this stuff because you have control. You're plugging things in. You're doing whatever you want. It doesn't matter nearly as much. Okay, that was my spiel. Hey, it only took 20 minutes. Only 4 times longer than I originally said. Not bad for me. Hey, what's up, Justin? Good morning, everybody. Thank y'all for letting me talk your ear off about this. We're listening to music now. But I think this is important stuff, and I hope it helps even just the slightest bit with y'all's appreciation. All right, good morning. Good morning, Zal. Good to see you, homie. Goat right there. B major in the hand shape, yes. Yeah, that's another thing to consider, the hand shape of your chords on the guitar. So you guys get exactly what I'm getting at here. There's tons of considerations, but even though there's a billion to think about, just knowing that they exist out there in the ether helps, because then you can know what to look for if you ever start exploring this kind of stuff. Well, thank you, Julian. I really appreciate that. Thank you also, Prank. Good morning, good morning. Okay, so to go to my findings here, jumping right on in. This, after the first, I think we have 110 samples. This is our data. The most common key signature that we have right now is D major, coming in at a whopping 11%. So I think that's 12 songs in D major right now. Coming up pretty close behind it, we have D minor with 9.2%. But, oh, here we go. A tie with D major is A minor, also at 11%. So those are our 2 forerunner keys, D major, 2 sharps. That is a friendly key for pretty much everything I just mentioned earlier. That's a happy key for electric guitar, electric bass. That's a very happy key for violin, viola, cello. That's a very happy key for piano. All those kinds of things. Hey, Tenchi, do you like that key? Is that a good key signature for you, homie? You gonna just give us the tail? Thank you, buddy. A minor. Why is that a good key? Well, that's the relative minor of C major. 0 sharps of 0 flats. Everybody likes that. Good old A minor. And then what else do we have? We got D minor. So D minor is the relative minor of F major, which has 1 flat. So there we go. There's that nice chill key signature right there. And then all the way, where's the real crazy one? There's like a B flat minor somewhere. That sounds terrible. I would not want to play in that key. Okay, so let's go ahead. Hey, what's up, Pavilis? Good to see you, homie. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start jumping in here and going through some songs that we don't have totally tacked out yet, the whole album, and just start listening, figuring out the key signatures. If you guys have suggestions for songs, hit me up in the side there. Be like, hey, what's the key of this song or this artist or this album, whatever. And we're just going to do about 35 minutes here of work and hanging out until we're done. Then I got to go skedaddle and get some stuff done today. But until then, let's jump in and start listening to some stuff here. So to get some background music going here, let's see. What do we want to do? Let's start off with... Well, let's see. We got some ABs here at the top looking all lonely by itself. So what is this? This is ABs 2. Let's figure out the rest of the ABs 2. ABs 2 album. And let's see what we got here. All right. Oh yeah, I should mention somebody jumped in on the list here because I put this available on the Discord. Link's also underneath in the description. If you guys want to add songs and have me look them up later, somebody asked for Kingo Kurozumi for Paradise Island, and I got that for you. That song is in C major and is 132 BPM. So let's see here with the ABs, what do we got? What is that, ABs 2, baby? Okay. So what do we got? 1, 2, 3. You gotta remind me now, who is this? Is this Yoshino? This is Yoshino Fujimaro, correct? Yeah. Or Yoshino Fujimaro. Fujimaro. I'll never forget his voice in Midnight Plus One. So good. Okay, so what do we have here? We have Do You Remember Me? Copy. So what do we have here? We got... E minor. Let's see what we got here. All right, 141. And this is another site that I found. It's called Song BPM. Let's see if it works. Because what it says, oh, if it has the stuff. Because I've been trying to use websites to see if this will help me figure out if I'm correct or not. Oh, there, look at that. There we go, Destination. Now this says it's in D major. I don't know Well, maybe it isn't D minor though. Well, what's going on? That is D. Yeah. Absolutely D minor. That is 100% D minor. So, yeah, D major, dude, is just wrong. And that's the problem with these places, is that they just don't have all the right information here. Now, this site is cool. GetSongKey.com. Literally the exact thing I was looking for. I plugged these in. A lot of these, about half of them. So you can come in here, you can look for stuff, and then it's very easy to let you edit things. So let's go ahead and see if we can find AB's destination and see what they say in here, because they've been better to me so far as what they have. AB's songs. No, that's not it. So let's see if they have, if I just type in destination. All right, let's see if I look up artists. Let's try that. AB's. Labs Cloud, yeah. I don't think they have it. So, can't always find it in there, but I'm positive that that is D minor right there. I will stake the little reputation I have. I'll just have to go in here to Japanese punkish girl to redeem myself. Let's see what we got here. And 2, and 1, and 2, and... $71. Yep. Okay. Minor, so E minor. C major. E minor. C major. Or no, A. C. E. So we're going E to G. So I said that wrong. G major to E minor. And then back to G major. So I'm gonna go with G major, even though we're switching around into modes. Jump in and see what everybody else thinks. Oh yeah, all right. Let's do Takako Mamiya's Love Trip album. Let's do it. Easy, baby. All right, let's see here. Let's wonder if Karate Keys would be different distribution if you discriminated in pre-1980 and post-1980. This is the kind of stuff I like how your brain works. This is exactly why I'm collecting all this data, is that then later we can go through by year. Look at how it happened at year. We can go through by BPM. We can go through by artists. We can do all these things. And if you think there's another metric I should add, let me know. I'll go through and add it in, because I want to have some good data here. Okay. Here. Yeah, Fujimal is the Americanized version. Fujimaru. Thank you very much. Yeah, I can't, as you know, I can barely speak English, let alone Japanese. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, Prank. In my head, they had two distinct sounds. I guess you'd have to. I'm not sure what you're referencing. You'll have to let me know again. What guitar am I using? I'm using a Fender Eddie Van Halen Wolfgang Special. It was the guitar designed by Eddie himself with the idea in mind. He wanted a workhorse speed guitar that would never fall out of tune if you set it up right. And you got that part. If you get it in tune, it'll stay in tune. But keeping it weather in the right spot. Okay. Yeah. The sites have... So this is the problem, is that these websites I'm using have problems, errors. So I want to go through and double check everything myself, but it's still good to get, a little double check on what's happening. Because something like Cassiopeia, you never know what their key signatures are. Yeah, the sites are auto-generated by AI. You're exactly right. Hey, what's up, Bobby? Good to see you, homie. You're not late. You're just right on time. We're just doing more research here, figuring out song key signatures. So we just did a Japanese punkish girl. Figured out that was in G major / E minor. Kind of fun. All right, let's see here. Nice. Ah, yes, as in pre-1980, post-1980. You were exactly right. There is a shift there. You're exactly right. We will notice that as we get more info. Okay, let's keep plowing. Oh, perfect timing. Let's keep plowing through here. So now we got Morning Dew. And let's see what we got here. That's a weird BPM. 107. And we're just walking down a big old chord progression. We're on F. F major. F major. That's a very nice, cool F major right there. Bam. Now this is how it's going to get annoying because we're done. Next one, Just a Rainy Blues. Okay. Here we go. $126, or cut that in half. Not bad there. So we got that voice. Not an F, maybe D or A. Yeah. A. I mean, this is minor, right? Yeah, that's minor. Yeah, you don't wail like that in major, baby. Oh, has this song been on repeat for you? Dude, this is a dope one. I love Yoshino Fujimaru, however you say his name. Really, really great voice. Just tasty guitar playing, man. Pop. Very cool. All right. As you know, we're just zipping through. Flight 007. All right. So let's see what this is. Getting spacey. Gonna skip in. Keep skipping. Okay. All right, got a 96. Hey, what's up, Zonk? Not too bad. How about you, brother? Good to hear from you. We got a major key here. Let's see. C major, baby. Here we go. Oh, from Indonesia. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you as well, my man. Thanks for joining us. All right, we got a question here from Julian. I just can't figure out who plays what guitar part. I think Makoto does a lot of jazz-style solos, but I feel like Yoshiko couples his style too. Yeah. Well, let's just look at this album real quick. And let's see exactly what we got and kind of enumerate here what he is getting at here, talking about this album. So, what Julian is talking about here... Be a jerk about it. In the ABs, our group right here, we've got a couple guitarists. So we've got Yoshino Fujimaru, who's the guitarist I've been talking about, and the other guitarist, Makoto Matsushita. So Matsushita, First Light, he's known for. Yoshino Fujimon is known for Midnight Plus One, this album right here. But this was their big super group together. So he's talking about how can you tell the difference between these two parts. For me, listening right here, this background guitar, this is Makoto. You can hear that sound. This kind of sound with effects. And like you said, a little more jazzy. Yeah. But you're right, Yoshino copies his style. This is... If you want to hear what Yoshino Fujimon sounds like, this is it. This is solo here. When we get to where that is. Here's the guitar solo. Hit me. There it is. That's his tone. That's Yoshino Fujimon. That just like screamy, evenly sustained. That is much more him. Makoto is much more restrained. And I only feel comfortable saying that because I've listened to so much First Light and so much Midnight Plus One, Yoshino Fujimaru. But yeah, those are the kinds of things that you start to notice. But you're exactly right, Julian. Listening to the differences, it's hard sometimes to tell, especially when this is their second album, not that far into their career, but when people play together for a long time, they start to fuse their styles, which is, I think a cool thing. But yeah, they were so ABs was a super group, and I know that even though super groups sometimes are short-lived, ABs did a lot of stuff together, and they toured a lot, and arguably a little bit, I wouldn't say they're bigger than the individual pieces separate, but everybody involved had solid careers, but ABs did very, very well for themselves. So yeah, like YMO of jazz fusion. Not a bad comparison. I like that. Let's see here. Have I ever heard the song Wash by Miki Matsubara? No, I haven't. Put it on the list. I'm going to have to check it out. Hey, what's up, Arda? Good to see you. I've been watching your tab videos for about 3 years, and I'm curious. Did you learn how to play bass in music theory on your own? Yes. Learning to play bass and guitar, by extension, I more or less did on my own. I did have about a year of lessons in high school with a guitar bass teacher who was really, really awesome and helped me a ton. But I'm a classically trained violinist. So my parents are both classical musicians, both pianists, and so I learned all of my music theory knowledge formally at university studying. But as far as all the stuff I've learned here, the stuff I do on the channel, you know, the vast majority of it I learned from the internet, watching YouTube videos or playing with other friends, playing in bands, doing things like that. But the classical music theory stuff does come into play here and helps, and, you know, it's fun to combine. But a lot of this stuff I really picked up just by ear and using tablature. Just tons and tons, years, decade and a half, 2 decades of reading tabs and listening to music. So, yeah, just been a lot of time on it. Okay, so we got Flight 007, got that in C major. So what puts us next here? So One Night in Moscow. Okay. I don't know if I'd want to do that right now. Maybe back in 1984, that was fun. More fun. I like this Rhodes organ. Oh, they got me. I did not see that coming. I'm not sure if they're at 97 or 98. It's a weird one. So we're in D. D minor. That was Yoshino Fujimura right there, baby. That was him. Correspondence. Oh boy. You're gonna make me spell. Correspond. Hey, I spelled it right. Yay. Alright, what do we got here? 1, 2. Cool. 122. And this sounds vaguely minor. Can't tell. Yeah. Overall, A minor. Cool. All right. So for the AB's album there, let's see what we got here. So let's sort, and then let's do 2, 3, 9. Let's see what we get here. So we want 1 through, what are we at? 117. Okay. Well, look at that. So you got 2 songs in D minor, 2 songs in A minor, C, A, F, and G. So let's look at how these are all related here. So D minor is the relative minor of F major. A minor is the relative minor of C major. So these are 0 sharps and flats. These both are 1 flat. A is 3 sharps, and G is 1 sharp. Yeah. Kind of cool. Kind of cool to see how that all breaks down there in an album point of view. So now going back to our whole thing here, let's do what was that, 117? I think that was it, yeah. So it looks like we still got D minor, or is it D major? D minor and D major are still tied. Oh no, A major took over, or A minor took over now for 12%. There we go. Goodbye, Yoshino Fujimaro. Mario. All right, jumping back in here. Let's see here. Yeah, ABs as a supergroup is a bit ironic since 4 out of the 5 members were in super popular bands before. Yeah, Shogun Spectrum. Yep. ABs was nowhere near popular. Okay, yeah. So I guess it's hard for my opinion on what is popular, famous, all that stuff. We've talked about looking at Discogs and how they will do things. Let me show you. Yeah, like reissues. So this came out in '84, but they re-released it in 2023. So for me, it's like, oh, well, if they re-released it in 2023, that means it's a big hit right now. You know, people want to hear it. But it's hard to tell what was a big hit back in the day, you know, without looking and seeing here. Okay, well, they got a cassette release and an LP release in 1984, but that was it. Probably indicates it wasn't as big a deal versus, like, let's go over here and look at just this random guy. Let's see here. Kingo Kurozumi. So let's see here. What do we got as far as, boom. His first one's got 5 versions again. So let's see what happened. Yeah, he got 2 LP releases in '82, so that's not bad. He got a re-release in 2009, a re-release in 2017. So you can tell a little bit about how popular somebody is using that metric. But it's interesting to hear, from Julian that they were not as popular as their individual groups. So I take back what I said earlier when I was saying the group is bigger than the sum of its parts. That's not true, I guess. Yeah, ear training is the best thing ever. I mean, it seems like torture at first, but really, I think it's the most utilitarian thing that you gain from music theory training is your oral skills, is what we call it. Your ear training ability to tell if something's major or minor, to figure out a key signature. Because I don't have perfect pitch. I can't tell you if I hear a pitch, if that's a D sharp or a F or H, whatever. But I've developed relative, not perfect pitch, but relative pitch, where once I have an instrument that makes a sound, I can match it up and I can figure it out just like I'm showing you guys here. Pretty fun. Okay, bro, you have to cover Henri's song like the whole thing, not just the bass part. Oh yeah, you guys want to hear me sing, don't you? Let's go with the magic, gone with the sadness. That's a taste for free if you want more. Gotta pay, baby. Buy my tickets on tour. Correspondence. Yes. Did I spell it like that? I really hope I spelled it like correspondence. That would be amazing. Ow. That would have been awesome if I had done that. Okay, we got a request here from Pavilis. I got to go. I am going to keep my promise up here to, what was the, yeah, to Takako Mamiya's Love Trip. We're going to go do that next. Because that'll be easy. Takako Mamiya. Because I think I've already done like half this album anyway. And it's an amazing album. Let's see here. A request. Will you be able to make a donut graph showing the number of major keys with their relative minors instead of having them separate? Yes. So if a song is in F or in G minor, same. Man, you see, this is what I'm saying. Theory cats are going to be like, what do you... I've been going back and forth on this, on how to do this, because some of these city pop songs, by virtue of city pop, which is being the opposite of what we saw over here with 2000s pop music getting distilled down into 3 or 4 chords or progressions. That is not the case with city pop. It's incredibly complex music based in jazz. So a lot of times they'll do songs that are modal shifts. So it'll be an A major, A minor, which sounds like, oh, well, that's easy. You're just going, But if you're talking about the key signature of that, well, A major has 3 sharps. A minor has 0 sharps. So, that changes the key, but in jazz, the sound is very friendly and it's a cool little trick to use, modal shifts. So it gets more complex. So to answer your question, yes, I am going to go back through here and reorganize all this information so that it's not 24, keys that are just way overloaded over here, but it's condensed down into exactly what you're saying, which is A minor, which is right here, and C major right next to it are the same key signature. They are no different. So we should really be combining these two together to get, 20% of the songs so far are in that key signature, 0 sharps, 0 flats. But the reason I'm keeping them separate right now is to really isolate, hone in on what I think is the predominant key. So that if it's a major minor shift, it's like, well, what is it more? Is it more major or more minor? Then we'll go back later and we can figure out, combine these things together and start going back through and saying, hey, well, is the song in major or minor? Because that's another thing I'd love to have you guys do is go through and get some input on, well, what do you guys think? Is this right? Is this wrong? Blah, 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 all that kind of good stuff. Because you guys know just as much, if not more, than I do about this. And that's what's great about the channel is that we're all sharing information, aggregating it for others in the future. I love it so much. You guys are the best. Okay, so let's see if I can get a little Takako Mamiya before we're done here today. So, Takako Mamiya, where are my T's? Here we go. So we got Love Trip. So we got 3 already on here from 1982. Let's do a copy, paste. What do we got on this album? Let's see here. Love Trip. Let's go ahead and listen to a track here. Go ahead and just get that rolling. What do we got for our first one here? Title track, Love Trip. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm gonna guess that some of these titles are just not gonna be in English, are they? Oh no, we're good. Yeah, that'll do. Cool. So we got Love Trip, the very first one. Okay, let's see here. How many we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 10. So we got 10 and I got 3 already, I think. Okay, so I need 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get that BPM. A nice cool 92. And this sounds major to me. E flat major. I think that's E flat major. Almost positive. Yep. It's major too. E flat major. So there's one of those weird keys that's like, I don't know about that one, but that's exactly what it is. Okay, so next one is Chinese restaurant. Man, I always spell this wrong. That's not how you spell restaurant. I can't spell. This is the worst. My dyslexia is killing me. I can't. My shame is on display for the world. That one's got too many vowels. I don't like it. Don't look at me. Okay, so that's a 78. Now what's this key signature? Okay, we're doing a pentatonic. Another weird one. Well, not that weird. F major. Okay. Let's see what happens next. Mayonaka, no joke. Mayonaka, no joke. Sure. I hope my cats are going crazy back here. I hope they don't tear everything down. Oh, wait. I've done this one. Right? Yeah, this is Midnight Joke. I mean, a great song, but not what we need. Okay, so what's the third one? Kanashimi. I'm not even going to attempt. So what is that in default? So just make that default. And then this is my OCD talking. Make that a 10. There you go. All right, so what's this now? Oh, man, this one's also... This is Sorrow is Beyond the Night. You guys are getting me. And by you guys, I mean the fact that I can't read Japanese. Okay, fine. As long as the next one's not Morning Flight. All or nothing. Okay. Cool. This song's awesome. All or nothing. Okay. And boom, boom, boom. Sweet song. Thank you, Pavilis. Thank you for making me feel better. No one can spell restaurant. Oh, it's got kind of a similar chord progression. There's our strings. 83 BPM. Let's hope we're in a friendly D major. C major or E minor. G major. G. I'm gonna say G major. It's either G major or E minor. This is what this was the question earlier. It's like, well, what is it? I'm gonna say it's in G major. You could argue. Nagisa the dance. Let's see here. So this is definitely major. C major. Interesting metronome markings. People don't like even numbers. One more flight. Did I do this one? No. Where is she? This is a morning flight. One more flight. Oh my goodness. She loves flights. $123. These are weird numbers, man. Another C major. Cool. We did morning flight, so now we need Tassa Gorde and what's the other one? Let's see here. Well, you know what? I guess that's as much as I'm getting right there. Kaboom. And then please make this default 10 centered play. Thank you. Whoa. Whoa. What key was that? 2, 3, 91. These are weird. 91. Okay. D major. Good old D major. Yay. What a broken heart can do. Last one. All right. What a broken heart can do. All right.
I'm just a thinking at the session. Feel the people can't look at me. Between a strong man and a gentle lady, I'm here to look at, not to see.
All right. Finally, a normal BPM 90.
To circumvent. They could.
Man, what key is this? This is a weird one. I think we're back in E flat major again. Okay. So wrapping up here, let's go ahead. At least what I think I got here is correct. Let's look at Takako Mamiya's Love Trip and see what we got here. 77 to 86. Let's see what the breakdown is. 77 to 86. What's she got for us? Okay. So here's what we got for Takako Mamiya. She likes all major keys. Every single one was a major key. I'll have to double check that to see if that's correct later. But what do we got? We got C, D, E flat, G, and F. So F going in reverse. So F is 1 flat. C is 0 sharps or flats. G is 1 sharp. D is 2 sharps. And I guess E flat, I've skipped. That's going the other direction. That's 3 flats. Did I say 3 sharps? D has 2 sharps. Anyway, this is the kind of stuff that I think is interesting. And where do we go with these notes? We've got C, D, E, F, G. So no A, no B. Huh. I guess those are her keys that she likes to sing in. So eventually, like I said, making the infographics is what I think is going to be the most interesting thing about this, is just taking individual artists and going, look at what they did. I don't know if you care, but here's the breakdown. So that's what we're doing here. Yeah. Hopefully you guys had some fun with this today. Oh, sorry, just reading up here. Let's see. Do we have a request in here? Best city pop song I've ever heard. I don't know, man. That's too hard of a question. But since I have to answer, Cassiopeia. Swear. No. Midnight Rendezvous. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Oh, is the last song Love Trip? Is that what that means in English? Okay. You see, I gotta learn my translations, and you know, maybe someday learn Japanese, because it seems like that'd be super helpful at this point. All right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I always have a ton of fun hanging out with y'all. I'm sorry I've been so behind with all the tab videos and all those kinds of things. Life has just been kind of crazy. Everybody has one of these, is experiencing it in the real time as the rest of us. So I apologize for falling behind here, but I do have plans to get back on. I'm going to go see my family today because I love them and I love seeing them. But after that, when I get back this weekend, it's going to be Music City, baby. And in that vein, or idea, I'm a little tired. I blew out talking about theory and key signatures. Used all my brain juices. I'm going to go ahead and just log off and say goodbye for today. But thank you all for hanging out. You guys are the best. I hope you have a great weekend. If you're not on the Discord channel already, it's free. Great place. Tons of awesome people. Link down below. If you got song requests to go look for next time, also there are a link below to a Google Doc to contribute just any little piece of information that you have. If you want to do this yourself and add more information and figure out the keys yourself, go for it. Great. I love it. But all that stuff is in links below. If you got extra money that you're just going to burn in a trash can, don't burn it in a trash can. Give it to me on Patreon. Got some cool stuff up there. But until I see y'all again, take care. I love you all. And I'm going to figure out which button gets me off live stream. Okay, it's somewhere over here. Yeah, I think it's this one.